So Dan Bilzerian drops the N word, they say, on the TMZ live interview. He was speaking on Israel and how we're kind of giving all our resources to Israel, and they're saying how whoopty whoop, he's a Jew, you know what I mean? Cool, whatever way he said it. And he was just saying how it's not a derogatory term to call a Jewish person a Jew. And then it kind of rephrased into him speaking on black people. So they kind of pulled but the problem, what happened is Dan Bazarian, he actually said the word. Let's just play the clip. Let's get it.
To us about why you pivoted here and decided to run.
I just don't feel like anybody in government is doing what is in the best interest of Americans, and I feel like they are doing what is in the best interest of themselves, and you see that with Trump. I feel like every decision that Trump makes is based on what is best for him and his ego.
So you were somewhat vocally a supporter of President Trump in the past. When did that change?
Well, I think when he lied about every single thing that he said that he was running for, right? Like, this is not America first, it's been Israel first. And he just has broken promise after promise. And that to me is really the crux of the issue. Like, in my friend group, if you lie one time, your word is gone. It's shot. Nobody trusts you. And I've watched Trump lie to us over and over and over again. I mean, what did this idiot tell us? He said that we had already won the war. He told us that we had complete air superiority, that we could just fly anywhere we wanted. What did they do? They shot 3 of our planes down. Everything about this war has been a complete failure. And then he completely capitulated and accepted every single one of Iran's terms. I mean, he is going to allow them to have full control of the Strait of Hormuz. Not that he had a choice, but he's lifting all sanctions. We're paying them reparations. He's lifting all sanctions from anybody that was supporting Iran. We have to remove all troops from the area. And I mean, if you look at the 10 points, it's everything that Iran wanted.
Well, I mean, all that is being negotiated still, but
they're allowed to enrich uranium, and they don't have to allow nuclear inspections now. So what did we accomplish?
I will say, I think it's hard to argue with a single point you just made. I think a lot of people, frankly, myself included, agree with you on that.
Right.
There's another element to this, which is Israel, and you mentioned Israel. And you are, you seem to view Israel as the enemy here. Could you explain?
Well, I mean, they're a terrorist nation. They were founded by terrorists, and they've been committing terrorism since their inception. I mean, and prior to their inception, they bombed the King David Hotel. They poisoned Palestinian wells. I mean, they've been a disaster. I mean, the Haganah, the Irgun, and the Stern Gang is what comprised the IDF, and those were all designated terrorist organizations. So, and the leaders of those organizations went on to become prime ministers of Israel. So this is a country that was founded on terrorism. They've been committing terrorist attacks. They've been committing a genocide, and we're paying for it to our own detriment, and they're dog walking us into wars. So, yeah, I don't know how you could ever view them as an ally. They've attacked U.S. warships. I mean, I don't know if you're aware of the different false flag attacks that they've committed, but it's been numerous. The Lavon affair, I mean, they bombed U.S. cinemas and British cinemas and libraries, trying to blame that on the Muslim Brotherhood.
I mean, Dan, I'm sorry, I just wanted to, because I know that some of the things you're talking about, and those are theories that are out there that are not proven.
No, this is not debated.
Look, there's, I don't want to spend the time kind of getting into that, because believe me, there's a big response to what you just said. The bigger thing to me is that you don't seem to have a problem with Israel, just Israel. You seem to have a problem with Jews.
Well, I mean, that's a ethnocentric state, and
that's the switch right there. I want y'all to take note on that part. That is the switch that they're gonna make. They're gonna make it from him complaining about. So this is how I want you to follow Trump. Why is Trump a problem? Because he's lying to American people, even though he liked Trump, he's lying to American people. Israel's the reason why he's lying to American people about war, because they started the shit, and now it's Israel's fault why we are in this type shit. Now it's going from Trump to TMZ guy switching over to Jews instead of Israel itself.
You know, it's being run by Jews.
Well, hold on. Let's talk about the Jews in the United States, not in Israel. You called your opponent this fat Jew. So he's not from Israel, but you called a guy in Florida this fat Jew. How is that not anti-Semitic?
Well, he's a Jewish supremacist, and he puts Israel before America, and I think that he should be tried for treason.
This fat Jew is anti-Semitic.
Yes. Dan. I mean, that's what you say, but how about every single time that he blasts Muslims?
I know. I don't say it. I know
he literally talks about how Muslims are lower than dogs. So is that Islamophobic?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is. And that wouldn't be, that's not appropriate for him to say either. If he had said that.
But he does all the time, and he tweets that, and he's a senator.
Are you anti-Semitic?
No, I'm not anti-Semitic. I think that, that's kind of a made-up term. I think the Palestinians are the real Semites.
Term?
Yes, because if you look at what a Semite
was
is,
Hitler anti-Semitic?
What's that?
Was Hitler anti-Semitic?
Like I said, it's the term is focused solely on Jews, but actual Semites are the Arabs, and Palestinians are Semites as well, and they actually have more DNA lineage to that region than any of the Eastern European Ashkenazi Jews that have taken it from them. So I kind of have issue with that term and how it's been hijacked to only talk about Jews.
So if you want to call it anti-Jewish, then you can call it anti-Jewish.
Well, I'm not going to call this.
Oh yeah, they harping on that part. I want y'all to keep track of that part. They harping on that anti-Jewish part.
Anti-Jewish. When you say that this fat Jew, you could take another race and you could use another epithet, but you're anti-Semitic then.
I'm not. I have Jewish friends.
Oh, some of your best friends are Jewish? I don't paint
all Jews with one brush, but he paints all Muslims with one brush, and it's accepted. And for some reason in this country, it is okay to just blast Muslims, bash them. You look at what Bill Maher said about Muslims. I mean, it's this double standard, and I don't like the double standard. And I look at him as a Jewish supremacist. He believes that Jews are better than other people, and he puts Israel before America. And so
if you've got a black friend that you don't like, do you use the N-word on him?
No, I don't.
Then what's the difference when you use the word fat Jew for a Jew you don't like?
Well, is Jew the same as because that is not that's not one is a slur, right? And one is describing a religion. So you can't compare the two.
Really?
There's a way.
How can you compare those two?
There's a way you say it, Dan, that the intent is the same.
It's not the same at all.
So
one is a slur, one is a racial slur that I don't use, and the other one is describing ethnicity.
You just used it.
Was an example.
Are we adults? Can we talk about a word? Sure. Was a word so offensive that it just you can't say it? We have to say it.
Yeah, the answer to that is yes.
So I want to ask a question.
People are too sensitive.
Dan, I know you. I mean, people are sensitive, but you're.
Now this is gonna get clipped up a lot because he used the word, but in actuality, what he was doing is using an example of why this word isn't compared to this word, because one word isn't the other one. The N-word is technically a derogatory term if used in the derogatory term in a way. Definitely if you put the ER on it. But, we as black people don't use it that way. We use it with the AH. You know what I'm saying? But I understand what he was trying to say, but they're going to clip this up so well. They're going to make him seem like such a bad person. And they were nitpicking. They got a piece of paper that asks them what they're going to get to and get to the point, ask them the questions quick. You could tell. And then they kind of pushed it from Jews to black people. It has nothing to do with Jewish people. It have nothing to do with black people. But they compared the two. So then when he gave him an example, which he shouldn't have said the word, but whatever, he said it. He's a grown man. He'll eat it. And they just kind of went with that. Tell me what y'all think about that. Because me personally, I don't feel the type of way of Dan Bilzerian saying it. Because in the way he was just saying it to explain some shit. You know what I'm saying? But did he have to say it? No, but they kind of imagine somebody's nitpicking you and kind of set you up to say it almost. But you didn't have to say it, but they set you up the situation. Like, what about black people, though? Is it derogatory to black people? I'm like, we're not talking about black people, though. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about Jewish people, you know what I'm saying, in the situation. And that makes sense. So I don't 100% agree with neither party. I understand what they were talking about, though. I just don't agree with either party when it comes to this situation. See, the black dude wasn't even that offended. It was what's the dude's name? I forgot the dude on the right. I don't know his name. All I know is he was in the Judge Mathis, Judge Joe Brown, which show. But anyway, he's more offended than the thing. Like he said, are we not adults? Can we not have dialect conversation? And that is true, though. But I don't know if they need to use the real term, but it's like I know what he's trying to say. So he wasn't trying to be racist or anything. And usually if the word is used in a racist way, then it's more derogatory than if it was just used in a typical way. You know what I mean? That being said, man, tell me what y'all think about that. That's Dan Bilzerian. He drops the N-word on TMZ Live. And it was just because it led, and let me recap it for you. It led from, he began by saying, I guess he voted for Trump, or he liked Trump at first, but then Trump started lying. He doesn't like liars, and he's consistently lying. He's lying because they're protecting the Israel. Israels are ran by what? The Jewish people. The other guy, I guess he's not Jewish, but he's a senator that is protecting Israel and allowing the federal government to help Israel attack other Semites, let's say. But also in Israel. And that's why he said that he's, they call him a fat ooh. And that's what led to this conversation. And then he got offended and he wanted him to compare and contrast that word to black people, and that's why that word just slipped out. So if you kind of follow it like how I'm following it, then it will make total sense, and you're not going to get offended because you understand properly. Because like he said, we are grown people, we are grown individuals, and there's really no reason to be offended, I guess, if you're not really a sensitive soul and you kind of like comprehend what's going on. And then me, I kind of understand what's happening. So y'all tell me what y'all think about this. Are you offended on one Dan Bilzerian is saying, or did you understand what he was trying to say, even if he couldn't articulate himself? I'm a person of understanding. So if the guy couldn't articulate himself, I can properly understand that, okay, this guy was trying to articulate himself. He might have said it the wrong way, but this is what he was trying to say. I'm not one to nitpick every word, because that's what I seen what this TMZ interview was doing. Basically, they were kind of, they read something, yeah, I totally agree with you, but you said this guy is a fat, you know, what do you think about that? Are you, it's not about Israel, you're against Jewish people. Oh yeah, Jewish people, black people. So that's kind of like the vibe he was giving. So tell me what y'all think about this in the comments section. This is very interesting. I know this might be trending pretty soon, so it's uploaded 11 hours ago. So it's your boy Angel Savage. Tell me what y'all think about this in the comment section. It's your boy Savage. Let's go. Peace. Subscribe.